Your dog isn't guessing. When it backs away from someone, growls at a stranger who seems perfectly friendly, or refuses to warm up to a guest no matter how many treats they offer, it's not a coincidence, and it's not magic. It's detecting something real, something measurable that you're not consciously picking up on at all. Today, we're breaking down the actual science behind why your dog doesn't trust certain people. A dog's sense of smell isn't just stronger than ours. It operates on a completely different level. Dogs have up to 300 million scent receptors compared to our roughly 6 million, and the part of their brain dedicated to processing smell is proportionally massive compared to ours. That matters here because dogs can detect chemical changes in human sweat and breath linked to stress and fear. In one notable study, dogs exposed to sweat samples collected from people experiencing genuine fear showed measurable stress responses of their own. Elevated heart rate, more stress-related behaviors, even changes in how they interacted with strangers afterward. So when a nervous or dishonest person walks into a room trying to act calm, their face might say, "Everything's fine," but their sweat is telling your dog a completely different story. Ask yourself, if a stranger's body was broadcasting a chemical signal you couldn't smell but your dog could, wouldn't you trust the dog too? But scent is only half of what's happening. The other half is happening right in front of your eyes. You're just not trained to catch it. Dogs have spent thousands of years evolving alongside humans, and one of the traits that came out of that relationship is a genuinely rare skill in the animal kingdom: the ability to read human facial expressions as intentional communication, not just random movement. Researchers studying human-dog communication have found that dogs pick up on subtle shifts in our expressions: tension around the eyes, a forced smile that doesn't reach them, brief flashes of discomfort, cues so small that other humans often miss them in casual conversation. That's likely part of why a dog can meet someone who's saying all the right things, using a friendly tone, even offering treats, and still keep its distance. The words and the tone might check out. The person's actual micro-expressions might not. If you didn't know your dog was reading facial cues most humans can't consciously detect, hit that subscribe button. We're breaking down the science behind your dog's instincts every week. Beyond faces, dogs are remarkably tuned to vocal tone, pitch, and rhythm. Research on canine cognition has repeatedly shown dogs responding more strongly to how something is said than the actual words used. A warm, steady tone reads as safe. A voice that's slightly too fast, too high-pitched, or inconsistent with someone's relaxed posture can register as a mismatch, and dogs notice mismatches. Picture someone who's nervous trying to overcompensate, talking a little too enthusiastically, laughing a beat too long, moving a little too fast toward the dog. To you, that might just read as a bit awkward. To your dog, it can read as incongruent. And incongruence to an animal built to detect threats is a reason for caution. But sometimes, the distrust isn't about anything happening in the room at all. Sometimes it's about something that happened long before this person ever walked in. Dogs generalize from past experience, sometimes in ways that look uncannily specific. A dog that had a frightening or painful experience with, say, a tall man with a deep voice, a person wearing a particular kind of hat, or someone moving in a certain way can carry that association forward, reacting warily to anyone who shares enough surface-level traits with the original source of that fear. This isn't the dog remembering the exact person. It's pattern matching, the same mental shortcut every animal, humans included, relies on to avoid repeating painful experiences. The tragedy is that innocent people can trigger those same alarm bells simply by resembling, even loosely, someone from the dog's past. Ask yourself, how much of what looks like irrational dog behavior is actually a completely rational response to a memory you'll never fully know about? Here's a factor most owners never consider. Dogs don't just assess strangers independently. They take emotional cues directly from their owner, a behavior researchers call social referencing. If you tense up, even slightly, when a certain person approaches, before you're even consciously aware you've done it, your dog often registers that shift and mirrors it. That means sometimes the reason your dog doesn't trust someone isn't really about that person at all. It's about you noticing something first, on some subconscious level, and your dog simply confirming what you already suspected before you'd admitted it to yourself. That's a genuinely unsettling thought, that your dog's distrust might sometimes be a mirror held up to your own instincts. Individual temperament matters too. Genetics, early socialization windows, and breed tendencies all shape how sensitive a dog is to these cues in the first place. A dog that missed critical socialization exposure as a puppy, generally considered to fall within the first few months of life, may be broadly more wary of unfamiliar people regardless of any specific red flag, simply because unfamiliar itself was never fully normalized for them. That's an important distinction. Sometimes a dog's distrust is a precise situational read on one specific person. Other times it's a broader, less targeted wariness shaped by the dog's own history. And it's worth telling the two apart before assuming your dog has uncovered something sinister about your new neighbor. So next time your dog gives someone the cold shoulder, ask yourself what they might be picking up on that you can't. Tell us in the comments if your dog has ever called someone's character before you did. And if you're ready for more, check out our deep dive on Kangal versus Wolf right here.